Hello, we're on our way to see Salli Saffioti for a little interview on my take of Voiceover Studio Travelogue.
Your arrival here this night was no accident. The mansion told me you were coming, but I must warn you to leave now, while you still can. No, it doesn't work like that. While the present and the past remain painfully clear to my mind's eye, the future is always changing. I see pieces, hear whispers, catch fragments of moments. Nothing more. Come quickly, children, if you want to live!
Hi, I'm Salli Saffioti, and this is my take.
What might we know your voice from?
Well, I would say the things that I think people would most know for. I played a character called Ingrid Hunnigan.
Leon, I hope you can hear me. I'm Ingrid Hunnigan. I'll be your support on this mission.
Loud and clear. Somehow I thought you'd be a little older.
Is everything okay?
There was a hostile local. I had no choice but to neutralize him. There are still others surrounding the area.
Get out of there and head toward the village. Take whatever measures necessary to save the subject.
Understood.
And in World of Warcraft, I'm the voice of the Lysra.
10,000 years ago, my city was radiant. The jewel of the Night Elf Empire. Suramar. Our people prospered for centuries. Until the Legion came. Some of us rebelled.
In Overwatch, it's I have a small part of it, but it's like a pivotal thing that hopefully more will come out of. I play the head of Russia. Her name is Katya Volskaya.
Chairman Volskaya, the new guidance systems. There will be the difference in destroying the hated Omnics.
Tell me we're still on schedule. The Omnium will not wait for us to be ready before they attack again. Our first new mechs in a decade. This will ensure the future of Russia.
I do tons of Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know if you're known for that stuff, but it's nice to be one of the Kimmel's ladies that gets to voice. It's like an honor.
Let's talk about what's the best aspect of living and working in Los Angeles, because I know that you're not from here.
Yeah.
So what do you find to be the best aspect of living and working in Los Angeles?
Every kind of voiceover is going on here. A lot of the nighttime shows are done here. So there's like promo opportunities, narration. Like I love that there's so many opportunities here that I don't think that you get other places. So it's like the one place you can be where you can meet the people you need to meet and get to do it in any way you want to do it. My manager does like mixers. So I get to meet people like that. And I went to one of those recently that my manager had, and it was great because people are like, oh, you're Salli Saffioti. And they're like, oh, I wondered what you look like because like you said, we hear these voices and we're like, so is she a kid or is she an old lady? And where's she really from? And I'm like, oh, I love that. So yeah, things like that. There aren't as many opportunities as before, I think, but I really appreciate when we get them.
How did you discover that you were a natural for voiceover?
Goodness, it's a long story, like every story. When I was little, I was like a little girl that was always at these barbecues and stuff like that. And people were like, oh, do your funny voices, and I didn't even know it was like a thing, like, do the kids from the Lollipop Kids or whatever, like from Wizard of Oz. And so I always kind of like did it because it made people laugh. And then when I was in junior high, I was always the voice of the morning announcements somehow. I like, maybe everybody would do it every once in a while, and then they'd be like, oh, let's get Salli. So I'd be like, good morning, today's Thursday, like October 22nd, it's 7:58 p.m. Today's morning announcements are, and I'd be like the voice going through school, and I still didn't think anything of it. And then, I became like a stage actor, and I always did many characters, but it still didn't know that it was like a thing. But then I was a regular on the Tracy Ullman show on camera. And I had the amazing opportunity of being her double. So if two of her characters had a scene together, she would play one and I would play the other. And they would just like, I was in prosthetics and like they would show like half of my face, like, you know, having the scene with her. And then we would do a reverse and then I'd play the other part and she'd play that part. And we'd get in, you know, full makeup. And I finished that show and I was doing all of her dialogue and the character voices. And somebody said, oh, like who represents your voice for voiceover? And I was like, what over? And they're like, oh, that's what you do. And I said, no, like I'm an actor on camera. They're like, yeah, but you do all those voices. Like that's a perfect voice match. Like they don't have to go back in and like edit the dialogue. They can use what they have. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't do that. They're like, your life just changed.
You know, what do you enjoy performing the best?
I love working in accents, and then I love when it even goes to the next level and it's like maybe I have to speak in that language and they have someone there to help you with that. And like the challenge of that for me is like I'm like alive and on fire and I don't know if it taps into like the stage acting part of me or like it just feels like very, I don't know, like that in the moment that, oh my gosh, how is this going to go? Is this going to work? Or I'm doing an accent and I've done a few sessions and then all of a sudden there's a person, I'm like, oh, that's the real person over there. Like, I hope my accent is okay. And getting to like perfect that and because I feel like all of these people like live inside of me, like all these characters are like in there and getting to play these people from all over the world is like, it's like the most exciting thing in the world for me. I don't really have like a specific technique for learning accents. I didn't go to accent training school or anything like that. It's weird. I read a spec and I love it when there's a photo and then it's like I can almost like hear it in my head often and I don't even know what it is, but I'll hear something and I'm like, I go to this website, you know about IDEA, like IDEA. It's this British guy's website and he has been traveling all over the world talking to native speakers and they all read the same like monologue and then he interviews them a little bit. And some of it'll say like, oh, they lived in the country for 20 years and then they left for college and then they moved to this part. So you get a little sense of the people. So that's really what I do for accents. Like I'll see a spec. I usually hear something in my head. I'm like, oh, let's hear what a real person sounds like. And then I listen to his thing. And then like I'll read the copy as I'm like listening, you know, in my head. And I'm like, oh, I wonder, am I getting that word right? And if I still can't pull it together, then I'll either go to YouTube or a movie that I know is like authentic people from that region. And I watch clips of that. And often I just like feel this rhythm just from even listening a little bit. And I'm like, you know, might not be perfect, but I can certainly give something that's going to sound very real and very similar to that. And I think that's often what people want, you know, so it's easy on the ears, maybe. I'm not really sure. But so, yeah, that's my technique. I don't like mark up my script with the things. I mean, I'm interested in that stuff too, but that's not what I do. I just listen. And that website has been incredible for me.
What would be your favorite accent that you like to do? Is there a favorite?
You know, I love French for the way it feels in my mouth and Russian because I feel strong and, you know, British because I feel proper, you know, like, so I like parts of all of them, I think.
How do you juggle the role of voice actress and mom? Because that's a trick sometimes.
Yes. Juggling being, you know, a working voice actress and being a mom, sometimes it feels really overwhelming. And other times I feel like, oh my gosh, like what else could I ever do in my life? And have like the flexibility and the freedom and the ability to be at home and be home with my son and have it all work, you know, like, so I feel like a lot of times we might have a pause in whatever my son and I are doing because of like last minute auditions or things like that. So sometimes that part I think is maybe harder for my son than it is for me, because like I can always like take a pause and run in the booth, and so that's a perk of it. But I also think being with agents that are willing to work around schedules, when I'm like, hey, for me it's better when he's in school, and if we could do it that way, that would be great, and if not, can I just have a minute to work it out? And I don't have a babysitter or a nanny or family or anybody. So for me, he goes to a nice small school, and the community there is absolutely incredible. So if not for those people being willing to like pick up and take home, and I got a last minute thing and I can't get to, can you take him home and feed him or whatever? And it's the best. That part, I would say the community and the agents that are flexible, and now working for so many years, people know me, and many of them know my son, and they're like, bring him along if you have to, like, because they don't like him, maybe even more than me.
He's popular.
He's very popular. Understandably so.